Of where we are as a country now, I mean, who needs to lead? We have political parties that appear to be arguing with each other. I mean, who needs to take up the leadership struggle to get things right?
Well, I mean, look, the political parties are not the big deal, actually. I mean, they have revealed their fallibilities and their weaknesses. In fact, they have shown that they can protect themselves, not the nations, not the people. They can act in their best interests. I mean, our political parties are, at the moment, are kettles and pots fighting over which is much more blacker. I think we have to be looking at how do we strengthen leadership? What are the qualities that are required? And only those who meet that criteria can then be in the political space and be political leaders.
But doesn't it mean that leadership? I mean, can leadership operate outside of political parties and still be leaders?
You need to grow that leadership. I think the leadership we've grown at the moment has just proven that it is not the kind of leadership that can lead a country like South Africa with the potential that it has. I mean, the question that Longfellow asks is, are the heights that we reach heights that we can keep? The evidence is the heights we reached are heights we are unable to keep. And that's the weakness of leadership. And again and again in South Africa we have shown that.
Is there a country right now that you admire how they've got things right with political party and leadership inside and outside, who faced with some of the problems to us appear to be on the right trajectory?
I mean, what was Korea like in 1945? It was ransacked by Japan. South Africa has been ransacked by Afrikaners and the British over a period of time. So in 1994, we are not in any better space than Korea was in 1945. Yet the Koreans rose. So what stops South Africa from rising?
Why do you think they have rose? What's the one thing they did right?
They really raised their education, they raised their technocracy, and they got the right leadership in the politics. China, of course, it has been one party for all the years, but how they worked on their reforms was very strategic, and technocracy was at the heart of it. And the ethics of their politics are very clear that if they find you on the wrong side of the law, there are punitive measures that they put in place. Of course, coming closer to Africa, Rwanda is showing the way. So coming to South Africa, the leadership of Mandela, Sisulu, and counterparts had this richness about selflessness. Their riches were in selflessness. I don't think our current have that selflessness. Their riches are in the money. The issue is, yes, you can look at the people who are in the mud at the moment. I don't think we are cheering and saying, well, let there be mud. I think we have to act as society and bring that leadership to bear and be bold in pointing at the wrong and point at the right, and also contribute positively to how we rebuild. We need to rebuild, and we have so much to rebuild with. I mean, the continent is very rich. South Africa is well poised, not to exploit the rest of the continent, but to participate in rebuilding. We have the infrastructure. We need to rebuild, or rather refurbish that infrastructure, the factories and everything, to be productive. Many are arguing that there is the fourth industrial revolution and manufacturing is a dead or sunset industry. For South Africa's manufacturing is the main thing. It is, and it's still, because the demands and the requirements of our consumption are for manufactured goods and services. So I don't believe for a moment that manufacturing is a dead or rather a sunset industry. Yes, there are services and so on, they are important, but surely it's a matter of choice. Mining is not a sunset industry, not when we can actually participate significantly in things like nuclear and mining uranium, gold, and so on, and including coal. The discovery of coal to liquid was a scientific endeavor by South Africa. And if we have these reserves, of course, it should be possible to make sure that code is clean in terms of as a source of energy.
What can we learn from the Rugby World Cup victory?
Well, I mean, Sia and his coach, Erasmus, they had one goal, one plan. They knew the number of days that they had. But what is very important about Sia is he represents the kind of difficulty of 60% of fathers saying that they are married against 30% of mothers. He's a representation of that at birth problem among South Africans. Yet he overcame it. And we don't want a system of luck. Of course, one has to persevere. But a system of governance must ensure that even that problem is resolved, because we cannot be a country of exceptionalism. Ordinary citizens must also survive. How many years do we not know? Because they are dying, they are dead, they are not there, they are not visible.
So how do we make those interventions the norm?
The interventions must ensure and guarantee that South Africans live a normal life. A child must know the promise of a better life. It's true and it will come. It can't be that they have to struggle for it in the way Sia struggled for it. He shows that it can be possible, but it cannot be the typical system. While we celebrate rising out of adversity, but it can't be the norm. It cannot be the norm. Otherwise, if it becomes the norm, then there's no use for government. Whites didn't make that the norm. They guaranteed that their children will go to school regardless. That's why they don't have the stories that Sia has. And we need a story that says South African children are guaranteed. In fact, if you think about Europe after 2008, they had a system of youth guarantee, which was youth in Europe, in the Union, will actually get jobs. They worked on that and reduced the unemployment in Europe, which was a youth guarantee. South Africa, we have a yes, it guarantees nothing. Instead, we have more unemployment.